and welcome to March MATness. I'm really honored to have been asked by Amy Rost and Pilates Fest North to present my favorite mat-based exercise from Joseph Pilates' original syllabus called the Saw. So I'm Annabelle and I own Pilates Manitoba in Winnipeg, and I was also really honored to be invited to be a guest speaker at Pilates Fest North in 2020, which of course has just been delayed. It's still going to be an awesome event, so stay tuned with us and we will hopefully see you in Calgary, maybe even later this year. But I wanted to start off by also showing you, if you didn't realize, Joseph Pilates wrote two original books, this one in 1934 and this one in 1945, and he called his original work Controlology, because you are controlling with your conscious mind your stabilizers and alignment muscles. And those are the little deep muscles, not the big mover muscles, the really deep ones that stabilize and align you in your joints, and they're considered involuntary. So for 1 hour or whatever, you practice consciously controlling that. And that is the ultimate essence of mindfulness. On purpose, you are doing that work. So whether you're prehabbing or rehabbing, whether you're beginner or an advanced elite athlete or dancer, Pilates is neuromuscular skeletal remodeling. So really, in my opinion, Joseph Pilates was the first physiotherapist. He's teaching you to empower that pattern in your own brain-body connection and your own mind-body connection. And for that reason, it is the gatekeeper in my mind to all good movement patterns, no matter what it is you love to do. So the Saw. The Saw is one of my favorites. It is from the beginner syllabus, so remember, you are welcome to modify this any way you want, and I highly recommend that you do modify it. So some of the nicest ways to modify it are to elevate your seated position. So it does start in a seated position, and I'm going to do it forward so you can see it, and I'm going to turn sideways so you can see it. So these are just two blocks of foam that I have. They're not soft foam, they're kind of hard foam, but you can also grab a book or two and put a towel on it. You are welcome to modify that. But the minute you elevate your pelvis off the floor, you're going to have a more comfortable sit. So you are going to have your legs extended and only hip width apart with your feet dorsiflex. Dorsiflex is the big fancy word for you're standing on the wall. Now you're nice and tall, but it's a comfortable tall. It's not a forced tall, so you don't want to be rigid or terrible. And you want to notice, remember, feelings are information. So if you feel like it's too tight or it's too much, you're going to cross your legs and just modify. So I'm going to do it from this position for you guys. And you are in a comfortable sit, and you're going to notice the basin of your pelvis. And you'll notice there's two bones that you're sitting on, and those are called your sitting bones, and they are part of your pelvis. And we want you to consciously notice them. And you might consciously notice that they are even or they're not. So no judgment. You just want to say, oh yeah, check mark, they're not. I skeletally want to align those a little bit better. Now the Saw starts with long arms, not rigidly long arms, comfortable long arms. And right now, you're also in your fascial lines because your fascia helps hold your muscles up and the bones of the joints, right? And so you're in a comfortable sit. And I'm going to do the moves one at a time, and then we'll put them together. The first move is you hold an imaginary band between your two fingers and you rotate. So there's the spine in slight rotation. And then you're going to gently lean forward. Now your back stays straight. So you're actually hinging a little bit. You're hinging a little bit from your pelvis. You're not rounding through, you're hinging. And then you're going to think of this back arm picking you up a little bit, and it's going to return you back here. We're going to do it again. We're going to rotate. We're going to think of just hinging just a little bit forward, almost as if you're leading with your heart just a little bit. And then this back hand here, it's going to tug like someone's pulling me and bring me back up and pull it forward. And then rest. That's just even a nice stretch even at your desk. Even turn your video camera off during a Zoom call and take a break. What you're actually doing is keeping the spine stable, the pelvis stable, and moving it on a small rotation with a diagonal saw, that's where the term comes in, for also a deepening stretch. So Joseph Pilates is definitely on the fascial lines, the fascial chains. He doesn't write that down because that information didn't exist back then. Fascial neuroscience didn't exist back at the turn of last century and World War I. Only we now know that he's feeling his way through it. And that's why he's pulling the pressure of your body through on the reformers. That's what that machine behind me is. It's a resistance training system using springs. And the springs, of course, activate the pressure in your body. It's not a resistance band. So on that same line, we're going to review the saw from the floor position. So I'm going to take away these and we are going to put them aside, and you're welcome to stay up on them. But let's take a look at the full version. So your legs are long, your feet are standing on the camera, you're nice and tall, holding an imaginary band, keeping your shoulder blades ever so gently slid down your back. So you don't want a military posture, and you don't want to hurt neck or jaw. We're just trying to consciously line ourselves up. I'm going to go to my left first. So I'm going to rotate first. I'm going to hinge forward, thinking of sawing my pinky finger and my pinky toe. Don't go far so that you hurt or fall to one side. Now my back arm is going to think of pulling me up, and I'm going to rotate back center. I'm going to rotate to the other side. I'm going to hinge, leading with my chest so that my spine stays straight. I don't emphasize the reach, I emphasize the pull. There's a small little pulling two ways. Hand this way, spine this way, back arm this way, and then pull yourself back up and come back center. Let's add in the breath. It's an inhale. It's an exhale. It's an inhale. It's an exhale. And I exaggerated those breaths so you can hear it. It's a sniff. That's an inhale. It's an exhale. It's an inhale. And it's an exhale. Now again, modify if it's hurting your hamstrings. No part of this should hurt you. The minute you put your body into hurt mode, that's a feeling, that is information. And if you override it by denying it or trying to work through it, your body is going to accumulate that stress and send you a worse signal. And further on down the line, accumulate it in your joints. And that's quite often a common problem with chronic joint instability and ongoing low back pain, neck pain, and shoulder pain. It's actually from overzealous work without listening to the information coming from the fascial system. So I'm going to add in a little something. You're going to inhale. You're going to exhale. Now, Joseph Pilates' original work had you pulse 1 reaching, pulse 2 reaching, pulse 3 reaching and sitting up and coming forward. Let's do it on the other side. Inhale, exhale. Now pulse 2, 3, and reach up. Beautiful. And it's going to be hard for you to see, but watch the back arm too. Rotation, that's an inhale. Pulse. Now watch the back arm. It rotates back. He was adding a little neurological, like patting your head and rubbing your stomach thing, and then rotate it back. So I'll show it on this side. You might see it better. Pulse. So see my arm goes back. 3. So he's also bringing in the shoulder in there, and return. Come on in, rest, take a break. You can shimmy out your legs, you can windshield wiper them, you can sit up nice and tall. And then it's always nice to change position after you've done a straight spine, straight leg. Come on up and do like, you can do like a cat stretch. You can do cat-cow if you're a yoga lover. I always like to finish with, so I change it up. I change up the position of the body so that sometimes it's in a more linear shape and sometimes it's a more rounded shape. And hopefully you come back and hop onto my social media at the studio. I'm going to be doing Rolling Like a Ball. But I thank Amy and Pilates Fest North for having me come and present this video. And I really hope I do see you later this year in Calgary. And you'll also see with me my melt training. I'm going to be also doing MELTed Pilates, and that is for a deepening effect and also for some new understandings in the body from Pilates aficionados. So I hope to meet you soon. And thanks again for everything, Amy and Pilates Fest North. Bye now.